Is Roland Martin. He's a friend of the show and the host of the Roland Martin Unfiltered digital show. And Roland is from Texas. So let's start there, Roland, because there are all sorts of things that happen already in Texas which discourage voting in certain areas and amongst certain demographics. And it looks like that's about to get worse.
Absolutely. The Republican Party in Texas and across this country is a complete trash party. I'm not going to mince any words, because what you're seeing is you're seeing a naked abuse of power. It is grossly undemocratic. They do not care about black and brown voters. But let me be real clear. They're also targeting white voters, young white voters who are on college campuses as well. And there has to be an absolute response to this that is massive. You heard the representative talking there. She's like, well, all we can do is file a lawsuit. No, that is not the case. This is where rich Democratic donors need to be funding massive efforts to register the 2 million eligible but unregistered Latinos who are in Texas. They can do in Texas exactly what Stacey Abrams did in Arizona, what Pastor Raphael Warnock did, in Georgia, in terms of how they were able to bring those folks to the polls. They can do the exact same thing. But Democrats keep playing around saying, oh, let's focus on the next election cycle. No, you've got to go into those communities and register those people in order to flip that particular state. So the opportunity is there. This bill targets the suburbs in Texas. I'm still registered in Texas. And so Republicans have been losing in Harris County, Dallas County, Bexar County, San Antonio, Travis County, and Austin in the suburb areas. And so when the 24-hour provision, banning that, the drop boxes, drive-through voting, that is specifically targeting Harris County. In the last election, Democrats were 5 seats away from taking control of the Texas House. They didn't. And so this is one of those moments where you have to understand what's going on. And so the blame here is at the feet of Chief Justice John Roberts, where they invalidated Section 4 of the Voting Rights Act. And so people need to understand what's going on here. And last point, Ali, lame-ass Senators Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin need to wake the hell up and realize what is going on, because their refusal to end the filibuster with this notion of, oh, I want bipartisanship. Well, show me bipartisanship in Arizona. Show it to me in Texas. Show it to me in Georgia. Show it to me in Mississippi. Show it to me in South Carolina. Republicans are running game all across the country, and these two are sitting there behind in D.C. saying, no, let's keep bipartisanship. They're going to screw the nation because of their ridiculous actions.
So there seem to be 3 approaches here. The one that Joe Biden is talking about, the 2 bills that are before the Senate that can be passed to expand voting rights and that will overcome some of these things that are being done. The effort that you talked about, like Stacey Abrams has undertaken in Georgia, that some people are undertaking in Texas, but could be bigger, the actual voter registration effort. And then there are lawsuits and the idea that maybe Democrats need to focus almost entirely on fighting these frivolous lawsuits that are not these actions that are showing up all across the country, like the ones in Arizona that are now spreading to Georgia and Philadelphia, and then Pennsylvania and Michigan. But Democrats do have to understand, perhaps in your opinion, that policy wins are not going to be the answer here.
No, it's a multi-pronged approach. Look, the Republicans, Donald Trump, because they allowed Mitch McConnell to block 100 federal judges with Obama, they now control many of these appeals courts. They control the Supreme Court 6-3. Supreme Court 5-4 vote with Shelby v. Holders already invalidated Section 4. Republicans do not want to reauthorize the Voting Rights Act. So the only way this gets done is if Democrats, and again, 2 Democrats. Let me be real clear, everybody who's paying attention. There are 48 Democrats who want to move right now, but 2 are stuck on stupid by saying, oh, no, we don't want to get rid of the filibuster because it's by bipartisanship. Fine, Joe Manchin. Show me the 10 votes, Joe Manchin, since you want to insist on bipartisanship. They are the block. So you must have a legal strategy, a policy strategy, then you must have boots on the ground, which means Senator Gary Peters of Michigan, somebody who I went to Michigan and did my show there when he was about to lose, he needs to make sure that money's being put on the ground for the elections next year, which means Democrats need to take the Senate seat in Pennsylvania, take the one in North Carolina, defeat Marco Rubio in Florida, defeat Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. You pick up those 4 seats, now you invalidate Sinema and Joe Manchin. Democrats better get out there late lazy asses in D.C. and realize this is game on. The Republicans control 60-plus legislative bodies out of the 99 in the country on the state level. Ali, that's 2/3. They control 31 Republican governorships. That means they can run the table. And so while Democrats are playing nice, they're focused on power. And so evil is in control. They are moving the agenda of Donald Trump. They saw what happened. They're angry with what happened in Georgia and Arizona. Arizona Latinos, Georgia black voters. But let me be real clear to white voters. They're targeting you as well, especially young voters. And so there has to be a complete effort here, and folks got to stop playing games. And I'm going to need President Joe Biden to be a hell of a lot more aggressive with his talk and his action, because if they are able to take control of the House next year, do you realize through gerrymandering, Ali, in Florida alone, they could invalidate 4 to 5 Democratic districts. Now, look, I've never self-identified as a Democrat or Republican. I voted Democrat or Republican. But right now, with what these folks did with the January 6th Commission and what took place, any Republican who stands with Donald Trump needs to be defeated on the federal, state, county, city level, school board level, because these folks want to run America because they are afraid of the browning of America. This is game on, and folks better stop playing. And you can sit here and just keep, walking around like we're in the field of daisies. But no, this is real, because they want to run all the policy and control the courts as well.
Roland, you're in Tulsa, by the way, where, you and I have spent years talking about black empowerment, black prosperity, black entrepreneurship. Tulsa, Greenwood in Tulsa, was the site of that. And in 1921, it was taken out, literally. And you're there to mark the commemoration of 100 years of this piece of history that you knew, and lots of people did know, but many more people didn't even know the history of the massacre in Tulsa.
Well, absolutely, but that's also the case. There have been about 20-plus other massacres that have happened in the United States that folks don't know about. Americans are wholly ignorant of our own history. And that's why, again, the Republicans sought on education, trying to control school textbooks. Again, in Texas, 3 states control the education of kids in America: Texas, California, and New York, because of the number of textbooks they buy. And when you see these folks who want to say, oh, no, there were indentured servants when it comes to slavery, what they want to teach. Now you have all of these idiots running around trying to ban critical race theory, who can't even define critical race theory, who can barely spell critical race theory, and because it's nonsense. And so people have to understand, we're dealing with white fear. You got people who are wholly ignorant, yeah, all you Confederate flag waving folks, and then those who support them who don't wave the flag, who don't want people to learn about the history of America. It's enough time out for his story. It's time to now learn real history in this country. And this is American history.
Amen.
It happened.
It is American history. That is exactly right, Roland. If you know history, you don't have to be scared of history. Roland, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us, as always.
Likewise,
Roland Martin's a friend of the program. He's the host of Roland Martin Unfiltered. Follow him on Twitter, by the way. He's almost as energetic on Twitter as he is in real life. All right, stay with